Well, welcome to Edinburgh, where it's a very pleasant summer's evening for this enticing pre-season friendly between Heart of Midlothian and the reigning champions of England, Manchester City. Manuel Pellegrini has brought his side north of the border. They featured against Dundee last weekend, and now they face Hearts in a battle in the capital of Scotland. Tynecastle Stadium has seen its fair share of spectacular moments, and it is with this fixture that the club mark the centenary of the main stand, an iconic landmark in British football. It's quite fitting that such an anniversary should attract one of the superpowers of modern football. It's very much a new era here in Gorgie. The supporters fought to keep the club alive during administration last season. They succeeded, and now the club is under new ownership in the form of local businesswoman Anne Budge. Former Scotland manager Craig Levine has returned as director of football, and former right-back Robbie Neilson has taken over the reins as first-team head coach. Chilean boss Manuel Pellegrini saw off a late challenge from Merseyside to land the Premier League title in his first season in charge in Manchester. There was additional silverware in the Capital One Cup. The prize of Europe remains the ultimate challenge for a club propelled by the Sheikh Mansour millions. There's a good following have come up the road from Manchester. Let's have a look at a number of new signings that will feature some of the younger players as well that are the future of this club. Well, despite relegation, Hearts fans have reacted bullishly. There's a fresh, positive feeling emerging from this part of the city. 11,000 supporters have bought season tickets for the coming season in the Scottish Championship, which looks to be a mouth-watering prospect involving not just Edinburgh derbies but also the addition of Rangers. It's sure to be a real fight for that championship. Likewise, Manchester City will have a real fight to defend their Premier League title. The trophy is here in Gorgie, and supporters today have had the opportunity to touch the trophy and get pictures with it. It's a glamour tie for the Hearts supporters, but they'll take some belief from the job done by Dundee at the weekend, who managed to defeat Manchester City by 2-0 at Dens. Hearts players beginning to emerge along with their Manchester City counterparts. Micah Richards will lead out his side. Well, there will be a number of changes to Hearts this season, but they have managed to keep together the best of the young talent that performed so well at the end of last season's Premiership. The likes of Kevin McHattie and Callum Patterson, Jamie Walker and Dale Carrick, Sam Nicholson, joined by Danny Wilson, who is the captain of this club. It was a turbulent last couple of seasons, but Hearts hoping to emerge from the darkness. They'll be looking for promotion from the Championship, and it will be a tough league. It's two sides at very opposite scales. Recent financial futures have been so different. Hearts have really been managing to gather pounds and pennies from their supporters to just keep the club alive, whereas Manchester City managed to boost their success with an array of worldly talents. And there is the Barclays Premier League trophy as the sides emerge onto the Tynecastle turf. Robbie Nielsen's first match in charge at Tynecastle, and following last season's departure of number 1 Jamie McDonald, Neil Alexander starts in goals. Fullbacks Callum Patterson and Kevin McHattie are both current Scotland under-21 internationals, and they play alongside former Liverpool centre-back Danny Wilson and new signing Alim Azturk. Margaro Gomez and Prince Buavan reformed their midfield partnership that they'd experienced at Dundee United years ago, when youth provides a creative spark with Jamie Walker, Sam Nicholson and Dale Carrick looking to supply trialist Osman Sow. Manuel Pellegrini has made sweeping changes to the starting 11. They were beaten 2-0 by Dundee at the weekend, with only Spaniard international Jesus Navas retaining his place. Former England and Arsenal goalkeeper Richard Wright takes his place behind a back four that is captained by Micah Richards. Promising youngsters Greg Lee and Karen Rekic join Serbian Mataja Nasic and completing the defence. News. From the substitutes bench, the likes of Fernando Kolarov and new goalkeeper Willie Caballero are options. Well, it is youth that promotes the Hearts bench. New signing James Keatings will look to supply the goals. Stephen McLean is the referee at Tynecastle. Completing that Manchester City lineup are Javi Garcia, new signing Zuccolini, Navas, Nasri, Sinclair, and £20 million striker Alvaro Negredo. The stars of the World Cup are set to return. These Manchester City players may have a point to prove after defeat to Dundee last weekend. I'm very happy to say that alongside me in the commentary box is Hearts' all-time record goal scorer John Robertson. John, an enticing friendly, how do you see it?
It's a fantastic friendly, I think, for both teams. You know, Manchester City had a shock result. I know it's only pre-season, but Dundee played very well and managed to turn them over. And for us tonight, it's really our one and only home game. A chance to show the new signings and a chance to play against some real top quality players.
There are plenty top quality players on show. No free kick there for Sam Nicholson. One of the new signings, Alim Ozturk, a player you've seen much of, John?
No, I haven't. This is my first real look. I saw him in a closed door game and he looks very composed, very comfortable on the ball. He's a good pedigree. He was sold for some big money and he lost his way a wee bit, but he's only 24 and they're very excited about him, that he'll form a really good partnership in the heart of the defence with Danny Wilson.
Having a bit of experience, and going forward here is Nicholson. Closed down by Nastasic. Callum Patterson back in his natural position of right back. Played much of last season up front. Can also play right midfield. Strong player. Patterson's ball in. He looked for Walker, but out came Richard Wright. Experienced campaigner. This is Navas. Richards. Rekic to Nastasic. Greg Lee over the top. It's a fine ball. Picks out Scott Sinclair. Was on loan last season at West Brom. He'll be looking for more first team action under Manuel Pellegrini this season. Danny Wilson will knock that one back to Neil Alexander, former Rangers goalkeeper. Also had spells with Ipswich Town and Cardiff City. turn by Carrick. This is Patterson looking into the middle for South. Hacked away, and a good start by Hearts, and the crowd are getting into it.
Yeah, it's very encouraging there. Nice play out from the back. A lovely little turn from young Dale Carrick there, and good width from Callum Patterson. And I think Robbie Neilson will be delighted with this. And as we say, the stands are still filling up in front of us here, so the sizable crowd will be happy with the start from both teams, to be fair.
So Sinclair just nicks it off his toes. Back to Nastasic and Lee to clear his lines. Negredo took it down well, and now releasing Navas. Navas is past McHattie, using his pace now. The Spaniard into Nasri.
Well, real quality there. It shows you what Man City are all about. A wonderful touch from Negredo to start this move. Real great force play, and Navas does what every winger you want winger to do. Gets to the full-back, absolutely leaves him for dead. Great ball to Nasri, and thankfully for Neil Alexander, he just didn't quite get hold of it. But the real quality you know that Manchester City have.
Well, it's incredible to see the talent on show in this Manchester City side, and to think that the likes of Nasri and Negredo weren't even in Brazil.
Yeah, it's incredible. Even you look at the substitutes bench, they could well, and I think they did it, Dundee, replace the entire 11, and the quality of the second half team could be just as much, and you think that most of the World Cup stars have still to return as well. But we were talking last night, and they've got big high hopes here really at the back there. The Karim Rekic, the centre half, number 19 there, they really rate him very, very highly, and the young lads at full-back as well. Greg Lee is another one who they have high hopes for, and they're really looking for them to push forward.
Greg Lee's a England under-19 international. Karim Rekic has been capped by the full Dutch squad. He came on as a substitute in Paris earlier on last season. He also played just across the country in Paisley for the Dutch under-21 side against Scotland, which really dished out a bit of a hammering to the young Scottish side. 6-1 that one finished just at the end of last season. Rekic was one of the outstanding performers in that game. It's Nicholson's ball in, and Stasic knocks it away.
And again, we see there what Tarts had from last season. There's young Sam Nicholson, who came in late on in the season, and Jamie Walker, who was there a mainstay. These lads were really thrown in way before their time, but they've learnt from it, they've pushed on, and they really do look lively young players.
This is Walker, confident young player, sliced wildly, but that shows the attitude of the player. He likes to shoot. He'll shoot from anywhere.
Oh, Jamie Walker will do. I think that a taste of commentator's curse there. But no, that's good to see. And you know, if these young lads can show no fear against opponents of this quality, then it augurs well for the club in the championship to come.
Hearts could be in here. It's Dale Carrick. He's actually snuffed out. Hearts seeing plenty of the early possession. There's Bouaben. Now Gomez, who spent the second half of last season back at Dundee United. Manuel Pellegrini had a pretty good first season in charge in Manchester. He won the English Premier League title, added to that the Capital One Cup. Twice in the last 3 seasons, Manchester City have been crowned champions of England. This is Patterson, looking to dink that one into South. He's a big, strong player. A little too strong for Stephen McLean.
Yeah, he's a big unit, and it's something that Hearts never really had last season. And I don't think it's just his physique or his power that attracted Robbie Neilson to him as well. He really likes the fact he's got really good pace, a really good touch. So again, someone who, once he gets up to full speed, could be a tremendous acquisition for the football club. Well,
administration last season meant a 15-point penalty for Hearts, and they never managed to quite make up the deficit on the rest of the teams in the Scottish Premiership. However, once the relegation was confirmed, they played with a real freedom and went on a big winning run to show just what they could be capable of this season. Garcia did well and looked to release Sinclair.
Yeah, it's a good tackle from Ozturk there, because if Sinclair has flicked that past him, you're only going to catch him with his pace. But big centre half there got to the ball and snuffed out the danger.
Ali Ozturk, a player signed from Trabzonspor in the summer. Had a bit of steel to that back line alongside Danny Wilson, an experienced player. Despite his age, still young Danny Wilson, 22 years old, number of Scotland caps. Walker did well there and robbed Jesus Navas. Here's Rekik though. And Zuccolini making his first appearance in the sky blue. Negredo hungry and wins the ball back for Sinclair, who is bundled over.
I think you've just knocked the nail on the head there. That's Negredo's attitude and his hunger. He's, you know, he could be forgiven for just coasting and floating through his game, but you can show he's eager to impress, and it really means a lot to him, and the professionals in him to go and work really, really hard at his game in pre-season. He's running about there and showing other City strikers, perhaps the younger ones, exactly the sort of level they're going to have to reach.
Nasri's free kick, too much on it, and an easy one for Neil Alexander. He was at Crystal Palace last season, just made one appearance in the Capital One Cup. This is Douaban. Ozturk. Manchester City pushing high up the pitch. Hearts have managed to keep a hold of it. Gomez now to pass, and they've worked that well. They look for the long ball to Sow, but he can't find the flick on to Walker. Here's Navas cutting in. Navas to Negredo. Douaban is there. Sow with the touch, and he wins the free kick.
Yeah, I think both teams tonight are really comfortable on the ball. I think it's credit to Robbie Neilson that he's looking for a passing game, and they're taking chances at the back half, but showing that they are prepared to pass out and use this new very fluent style, and still have the occasion to go long should they need to Big Osman Sow up front.
It's Robbie Neilson's first job in charge of a first team. He was working with youngsters who performed very well, got to the Scottish Cup Youth Final last season, beaten by Rangers. And Cathy will win the throw too. Now Walker wins the free kick from Navas. And a chance for the likes of Walker and Ozturk to get forward.
Yeah, that's one thing that Hearts have got this year, is that they've got a few big lads there, because you've got Ozturk, Patterson, Wilson, Sow, who can all go in there. Prince Bobbin's not the smallest either, but it was something they didn't really have in their locker. But certainly with Walker's delivery and McHatty's delivery from the other side here, they've got a real chance to throw in some big lads.
And so many young players, they're also still developing physically. Walker it will be on the right foot to swing this one in. Middle, and strongly headed away by Negredo. Gomez. Nicholson. Sow with the header. Well wide in the end, but he found space in the box.
Yeah, it's a little half chance there. It was a decent delivery. One thing you want your wingers to do is put it in early. Nicholson done that, but it was just slightly behind him, and he was stretching there. Perhaps maybe if he'd got a shout from Dale Carrick behind him, he maybe have gone to it. But again, it's a promising sign for Hearts, and it's lifted this big home crowd.
Osman Sow is still on trial. He scored against East Fife in their last outing. He impressed in that game. Stasic. Now Lee. Sinclair managed to get in behind the defence, but it was well marshalled by Nicholson, tracking back. Nasri. He may have a point to prove this season after having been left out of the France squad for the World Cup. Here he is again, being pressured, but remains so easy on the ball. Sinclair back to Nasri. Negredo, Nasri again, lovely ball out to Jesus Navas, and in came Jamie Walker, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, nice play from Manchester City again. Nasri and Negredo at the heart of it. There's a lovely ball, beautifully flighted ball out here to Navas, and Jamie Walker doing what he's learned from last season, getting back there and managed to win the ball back.
Wilson forward, Rekic rose high. Here's Walker. Catty. Wilson. The nod from Sow, but the ball not quite accurate enough. And from here, Manchester City head over to the States. They've got a game on Wednesday against Sporting Kansas before AC Milan, Liverpool and Olympiacos. And then it's on to the Community Shield, and then their opening Premier League fixture on the 17th of August at St James's Park. Stasic. Sinclair, if he can take it down, he's done well there. Ozturk in the right place. Bouaben. Nicholson just about keeps the ball in play. Nasri couldn't.
Yeah, it's still a very lively little game so far though, but it looks like we've lost Sam Nicholson earlier. I think he just picked up a little knock there, a little injury, and it's a like for like. Billy King will come on. And I think he's just not you know, I think something, obviously maybe his ankle, maybe his groin there. He wasn't too comfortable, but that'll be a blow for Robbie Neilson with only a week to go before the opening cup match. But one thing he does have with Billy King coming on is a guy who is very, very similarly skilled and will be just as direct.
Robbie Neilson was relieved that what looked like a nasty injury to Scott Robinson in a pre-season friendly against Dinamo Bucharest wasn't actually as bad as it first feared. And he is on the bench tonight. But Sam Nicholson has gone off with a groin injury. He just recently signed a new 3-year extension to his contract. The youth certainly does get its chance here at Tynecastle. This is Sow. Now McHattie. Well, he struck it well, and it was very well closed down by Bruno Zuccolini.
Yeah, Zuccolini done well there. Sow tried to get one, it just didn't quite catch, but Kevin McHattie's got a real cannon, and it was heading going to give Richard Wright something to do there. But it was deflected wide, and again Hearts have a chance to work something at the set piece.
Micah Richards had the final touch. Walker's ball in. Oh, and Everin left it. McHattie again. Here's Navas. Up against McHattie. Too much pace for the left back, who managed to get back. He's done well. And this is Wilson. To Gomez now. King has first involvement. Patterson sees space out on this left-hand side. Accurate ball to find Walker, who took it down. Now cutting in, looking to get that right foot onto the ball. Lovely pass through. Dale Carrick's effort. Well saved by Richard Wright. Well, a great move there by Hearts.
Well, it really should have been open. It's a wonderful crossfield ball from Patterson, and Walker's very direct, drags it. It's a wonderful little run from Carrick, and he smacks it with his left foot, and Richard Wright stayed big, as all good goalkeepers should do, and it's a wonderful save. But look at this for a ball, and suddenly it gives Jamie Walker the chance to run 1-on-1, and you'll just see a lovely little angled run here from Dale Carrick in behind, and there it is, Richard Wright, super save from the former England goalkeeper.
Micah Richards to Navas. Now Garcia, Scott Sinclair. Zuccolini. Navas. A cheeky back heel, but Walker, who done his tracking back, has now been caught. Zuccolini, the Argentine. Richards. Navas. A bit too clever for himself there.
Yep, it's give him a wee chance. It's pre-season, he's going to try these things. Maybe a little bit rusty, but it just shows though again he's quite prepared to try any little trick, any little skill that can give him a yard on young Kevin McCarthy.
Goodness, that was tidy. Ali Mozturk. Carrick is just operating in the hole behind Osman Sow. Gomez to Guaban. Now Ozturk. Guaban just took a heavy touch. Zuccolini to Karim Rekik. Garcia. Negredo. Had Ozturk all over the back of him.
Yep, the big tuck there was very, very tight to Negredo. Negredo's strength made it a real battle, but of course, with Negredo being in front of him, he's able to use that physique to his advantage and draw the foul from the Hearts centre half.
Negredo now looking to get away again. Garcia down just to Magaro Gomez. McCarthy. Now Walker. So Walker again. King was barged over, but play on, says the referee. And it's Walker. Seems to be the go-to man at the moment for Hearts. Most likely to make something happen. This is Sinclair. Operating down the left, looking to really reignite his career. A miss and heavy challenge on the back of Dale Carrick by Javi Garcia.
Yeah, I think Garcia was a bit upset just a couple of minutes ago when there was an aerial challenge. He felt he was bundled over there, and I think that was just a little bit of frustration, just letting the Hearts lads know that he's not going to be taken advantage of there. But nearly wonderful play from Scott Sinclair and Negredo there, nearly got the winger in, but as you can see, referee Steve McLean, it's frustration from Garcia because he went up to head and one of the Hearts lads made a back for him and he fell over and he felt a bit aggrieved, and you know, that's the professionalism in players. They like to sort something out, but Mr. McLean seems to want to show who's boss.
Just had to be a little careful there. Heavily pressurised by Zuccolini. So now, nice touch. Couldn't keep the ball in play.
Yeah, getting good passing out from Hearts, and you know Robbie Nielsen wants him to be brave, wants him to pass. It's very, very tight. I think it'll give one or two of the home faithful a little bit of nervous disposition at times, but as long as they keep passing out, I'm sure they'll get used to it and see the long-term benefits of keeping the ball.
Should prepare his Hearts side well. They open their competitive season against Annan. And that comes on the 26th of July in the Petrofac Training Cup. Nasri under pressure, and Gomez robs it from the French international. Bouaben back to Gomez. Good energy in the Hearts midfield there. Prince Bouaben by McCarthy to Walker. Couldn't bring it under his control, but he's won it back to Carrick. Nastasic. Now Sinclair. Rekik, who was on loan at PSV Eindhoven last season. Very impressive in the Eredivisie. Navas to Negredo. Negredo, oh, great ball through. It's Sinclair. And it is 1-0 to Manchester City. Yeah. Scott Sinclair breaks the offside trap. And Man City are ahead.
It's a super goal. Callum Paterson's looking for offside, but it didn't look offside to me. It looked a wonderful ball. A wonderfully timed run as well from Sinclair. It was a wonderful touch there. Whipped in from Navas to Negredo. He looks up, he sees the run, he just slides it through there. Callum Patterson looks a bit square, and it's a wonderfully composed finish. And you will see from this angle, as I said, from where I was, it just looked wonderfully timed. You'll see here Patterson, he's bang on, that's perfect. Nothing wrong with that. And it's a wonderfully worked goal from Manchester City.
Could have squared it onto one of his teammates, but he had the composure just to tuck the ball past Neil Alexander. And Scott Sinclair makes it 1-0. Here's McCarthy. Hawks looking to respond. And out comes Garcia to Negredo. Gomez nibbling in at his feet. Walker. Patterson away down the right hand side. Well, it's not usually a side of Negredo's game that you would initially associate him with, but that was a lovely crafted ball through.
Yeah, it was a wonderful link-up play. Left foot of his, and he saw the run early, he's looked up early and he's disguised it beautifully, and I think that's what's caught out the Hearts defence. And as we said, that Sinclair was level with him, means he was onside, and it's a wonderfully crafted finish and a wonderfully crafted goal.
The suggestion is that the jury is still out on Alvaro Negredo amongst the Manchester City fans, although when you look at the stats, it's not bad. 23 goals last season. It was just the second half of the campaign where he stuttered a little. Edin Dzeko became the main man. He's of course still to come back after Bosnia's exploits at the World Cup. There are plenty when you consider that it's an impressive 11 out at the moment. There's another 11 on the bench, and then there's still Joe Hart, Martin Demichelis, Vincent Kompany, Fernandinho, David Silva, James Milner, Yaya Toure, Sergio Aguero, and Edin Dzeko to come back. It's not bad.
Yes, you just it's a cast of thousands. I mean, we talk about the wealth, but listen, you cannot do anything but admire the quality in that squad. I mean, we're talking about tonight's substitutes who will appear. A lot of the quality is still to come on tonight, and then you look at that list, and it is just fabulous for Manuel Pellegrino to just sit there and think, you know, his hardest task must be
Navas. And Nastasic. Zuccolini. Cut out by Patterson. Now to Billy King. Ali Mozturk. Shot comes out. Carrick. Well, he was just a little heavy with the delivery because Billy King was in there.
Yeah, it was good play, and you can see what they're after there. It was a wonderfully played pass through into Big Osman South first. There's a touch to Carrick, and he just wanted to try and roll it there. We saw the difference in quality. Negredo slid it through on the ground, straight into the path of Sinclair. If young Dale had managed to slip that one through, then Billy King may well have had a chance. But I've got to say as well, Greg Lee was coming back at a fair rate and wants to cover. I don't think that young lad lacks anything in the athlete department.
Dale Carrick really established himself at the end of last season's Premiership campaign. He scored 6 goals all season, but 5 of them came in the last 6 weeks, including 1 in the derby, which he will relish for the rest of his career. Hearts will be joined by Hibernian in the Championship next season. Scottish football will still have its Edinburgh derby. May not be too long until we have a Glasgow derby again. Here's Nasri. Navas. Zuccolini. It's good movement from the Argentine. Garcia. To Navas. Nasri. Hearts just keeping their shape, trying to block off any holes. Nasri will be the man to try and expose any weakness. Stasic trying to just drop that one in for Negredo. It's easy for Ozturk. Half an hour played. How would you assess Hearts battling against this global superpower of Man City?
Yeah, I think Robbie he'll be delighted with the composure that the players have showed. They've passed out in some very tight areas at times, and that's certainly a style he wants to promote. And they have created one really good chance. It was a wonderful save from Richard Wright. But you've got to say City deserve to be ahead. They've kept the ball better. They've created a half chance first for Samuel Nasri. The goal was wonderful. A really good move. Had a lot to admire about it, but generally speaking, you know, Hearts look organised. They look very, very comfortable on the ball, and against lesser opposition you'd expect them to create more. So all in all, the first half hour, I think there's lots of positives for the home side.
Lee couldn't get in down the left hand side, and a free kick for Hearts for the challenge on Dale Carrick.
Yeah, I think Robbie Nielsen's trying a wee tactical change here. It looks like he's going to switch the 2 wide men. He's asking Jamie Walker to trot over to the right hand side, Billy King to the left, and that's good to see. I like to see wingers, you know, asking questions and going about and trying the other flank here. And as we said, Hearts will pass the ball out and try and get their wide men on the ball.
And here is King. Just got a nick there from Javi Garcia. Gomez straight on with it. King. Walker. Good left-footed pass out to Billy King. The 2 wingers combining. King looking to go round the outside of Micah Richards. It's a long way around there, and he wins the corner.
Yeah, composed defending from Micah Richards there, because you've got young Billy King. He's got 2 good feet. He can go left and right, and this is part of his game and part of his learning that he's got to do. I think he could have just whipped it in a wee bit early, 2 a couple of extra touches. He's got to understand as a winger, he's
Jimmy Walker again, and Stephen McLean had spotted a tug in the jerseys.
Yeah, I think he's having a word with big Aleem Ozturk there. He must have thought there was a bit of blocking going on in the box there. The big lads, yeah, you could just see, he's really unlucky. It was obviously something that had been working on. He's just blocked Danny Wilson's marker, but he's got hold of his jersey. And unfortunately for big Aleem, Steve McLean's eagle-eyed caught the little tug and rightly gave a free kick to Man City.
Yeah, I think there were a few goals scored over in Brazil in that manner. Deceiving runs to block the defenders. There's Gomez to Buaben. Callum Patterson just using his goalkeeper. Gomez, and Nasri's right on his back. High, fast pressing game from Manchester City, but Callum Patterson got his way out of a very tight alley there. King just couldn't release it in time, and Hearts had committed numbers forward there. It's Sinclair for Negredo.
Yeah, I think there may have been offside that one there, but Negredo just lovely. I love the way he just glides on the back of defenders and doesn't let them know where they are.
There's King finding good space, and Walker looked to have a run at Greg Lee. Buaben, Gomez, they complement each other so well. King now. Switch of the play, which Greg Lee was onto. And the youngster has it back. Zuccolini just coming into the back four to distribute. Navas got a shove. It was Garcia rather. This is Navas. He's got Richards outside him. Micah Richards. Kevin McCarthy did his job. Oh, and he won the goal kick.
Yeah, it was good there. Initial play from City. They just got the ball down quickly and caught Billy King napping a little bit, but Kevin McCarthy stuck to his task there, because I thought for a second Micah Richards had got away from him there and opened up the gap, but he managed to get back and nick it off the City defender and alleviate the danger.
Goes Sow, won it well. The Manchester City substitutes out for a warm-up. Of John Guidetti, a striker who's got a point to prove. He's got a lot of goals in the Eredivisie for Feyenoord.
Yeah, he had a terrific season last year and was banging them in, and there's a list of suitors watching anxiously to see what City are going to do at the start of the season, because I don't think he'll be well, he's certainly not short of admirers. I want to take that young man into their starting 11. Now
Garcia to Nasri. It's done quickly, and Nasri's on his way now. Samir Nasri. Back came Prince Buaben though. Gomez just got a toe on it. So too though did Nastasic. No nonsense from Kevin McCarthy. Micah Richards launching it towards Negredo. Wilson was always in control. Lee now Walker didn't complete the clearance. He's got it back now though. Patterson into Buaben. Patterson launches it high. The ball won't stay in play though. Is Europe the next real target for Manuel Pellegrini?
Yes, I think there's no doubt about that. First and foremost, like most of the top six in England, you'll want to retain the title. That's the main thing. But no, I think every Man City fan now, the Holy Grail will become the Champions League. And you said earlier on with the money of Sheikh Mansour behind him, I think at some stage he'll be not asking anymore. I think he'll be demanding that City make strides in that. Because if you look at the progress of Manchester City over the last 4 or 5 years or so, that's the one box that they've not really ticked yet. They've not really got as far in the Champions League as perhaps they'd like. And I think now, as we've alluded to tonight, the squad they've got, and I believe they're still trying to add to that in terms of a centre half, you'd expect them to start really performing in Europe and becoming a power in Europe.
Yeah, such a rapid rise. It does take time to get the players bedded in, partnerships to be formed. Similar to what's being seen at Paris Saint-Germain. Scots and players just gone a little early.
Yeah, the flag was up there pretty quickly, but I've got to say so far that Graham Leslie, the one that the Hearts fans are giving him the bird for, he got it right. There's absolutely no doubt about it. As much as we can say, it was bang on line and a correct decision from the linesman.
So, lovely touch to Carrick. Well, Greg Lee came across, made the challenge and won it well.
Yeah, it looked a good challenge as well. I just wonder if young Dale could have got his head up there because he had Billy King on the left, but being a striker as he's trying to get through for goal. But it's a wonderful tackle from the young City lad. But I've been very impressed with him tonight, and you know, we've seen Nastasic and Mika Richards before, but Rekic and the young lad there, Greg Lee, have been terrific. They really have. They just show the quality and show the faith that Man City have in them. And they just look settled.
There's a real turn of pace there for Greg Lee. The unfortunate thing for him is he's got Gael Clichy and others in front of him, very talented players. Kolarov as well. That's given away. Nasri looked to get onto it, but Alexander quickly off his line.
Yeah, that's good reading from Neil Alexander there. Just about, another half yard. If his starting position wasn't correct, that would have been a real opportunity for City.
Navas taken to ground. He's probably fouled a couple of times on that run.
Yeah, you can see the pace he's got there. There's a little tug once, twice, 3 times, and it was good refereeing from Steve McLean there. He gave him every chance, and if that ball had gone to Negredo, it would have been a wonderful decision from the referee. But he done the right thing. He's hauled it back, and that is what we like. It's common sense refereeing. It's something that a lot of fans would like to see more of.
Nasri clipped towards the back post. Here's Negredo turning in on the right foot. Alexander, experienced head, and well, now looking to release Carrick quickly. Carrick's got one man to beat, and that man is Zuccolini, who fouls him.
Yeah, that was actually a decent foul from the lad, because it's a wonderful kick from Alexander, and Carrick's not short of pace and gets in front of him, and Zuccolini just thought, well, wait a minute here. He's struggling. Carrick gets in front of him, and I think he's just thought, yep, I'll just take him out here, because if he gets ahead of me, I'm in trouble.
Negredo is just struggling to get back into his half of field at the moment. Looks to have taken a knock. In fact, one of the boots is off, and his teammates have got some defending to do first. It's King's free kick. Easily headed away. Walker, though, to Gomez.
No, that's the cardinal sin. You've got to get it past. We talk about it, and you know the viewers here, everybody talking about it all the time. Clear the first man, didn't get it past there. Javier Garcia has an easy head away, and it's, you know, it's soul destroying. The big centre halves come up and they've got to go all the way back because they haven't even had a chance. You know, sometimes you're actually better over hitting it rather than under hitting, and it looks like we've lost Negredo there. I think unfortunately he's hurtling up the tunnel, which is a disappointment for Man City in the first place, but for the crowd here, because he's been one of the star performers in the first half.
Manuel Pellegrini may just wait till the second half to make that change. This is Navas first though, drilled in. Sinclair won it, but Ozturk made a fine challenge. Navas again. Nasri. It's Javi Garcia. Rekic. Stasic to Lee. And quickly snapping away was Walker. Ozturk. Well, will likely be changes to make for the second half. Give players the run out. That's what much of pre-season's all about. No added time to play. The whistle is blown by Stephen McLean. It was Scott Sinclair midway through the first half who has given Manchester City a lead. Dale Carrick came very close to opening the scoring after a lovely ball through by Jamie Walker. But at half-time here at Tynecastle, it is Heart of Midlothian 0, Manchester City 1.
Pre-season action here tonight at Tynecastle, but the real reason for our visit is to celebrate the centenary of this fine main stand. You'll see a plaque behind me commemorating its installation back in October of 1914. Now, many great figures passed through the doors here at Tyney, and none greater perhaps than the club's record goalscorer John Robertson. And earlier on I went inside to get some of the history. John, you spent so much time here at Hearts, scored so many goals, particularly within these four walls here at Tynecastle. Talk me through some of the greatest memories that linger on for you.
I think one of the most outstanding memories is it was the old stadium. Obviously then we had the big bank terracing behind the goals, and one of the most memorable matches was probably our first home Premier League game in 82-83 when we defeated our great rivals Hibs 3-2. Managed to score a couple of goals that day, and the whole place was rocking. And you know, much of that ground has gone now, or it's all gone. Apart from where we sit today, the grand old lady of Tynecastle, the stand, is the last remaining part of what was a wonderful old stadium.
Can you still remember the first time that you ran down that tunnel as a player, out into the noise?
Yeah, it was strange. It was actually a schoolboy representative game for Edinburgh Schools against Glasgow in the Scottish Schools Cup final, but it was actually in the middle. You know, it came before Hearts pre-season friendly. It was a massive crowd, and I think what got you at the time was the size of the pitch, because it was just absolutely huge. It's probably one of the smaller pitches now in the Premier League, or in Scotland I should say, but it was massive, and it was just a real thrill. As a player, it was actually a reserve match, and although the stadium was half empty, you felt you were a football player. You were playing at a senior ground. And even today, when you walk around it and see the three new stands, it's still a wonderful, wonderful place to be.
Now, of course, we should whisper it quietly, but you grew up over on the other side of the city supporting that other team, Hibs. How did this place seem to you when you were growing up? Was this enemy territory?
No, not at all. My father, you know, this is one of these urban myths, football myths, that I was a Hibs fan. It was not quite the case. You know, my brother George, who is a dyed-in-the-wool Hibs fan, took me to 1 or 2 games when I was a young lad, but I only saw about 2 or 3 because, you know, we trained into juvenile football to play on a Saturday. So this is stuck, and it's not a bad little thing to people to throw about. Was he? Wasn't he? No, when I came here, I had a few trials with English clubs. You know, Manchester City, funnily enough, and Nottingham Forest, Arsenal were all very keen. But I decided to, you know, unfortunately my father had died. I decided to stay in Scotland, and as we said before, I was going to sign for Hibs, but they decided against it, and I came up here and signed for Hearts.
The season's starting next weekend. Hearts soon to start their campaign in the Championship. You've been around the club. What's the feeling? Is there an optimistic mood of coming straight back up?
There's a huge optimism about the club, first and foremost on the outside, because we're looking at brand new owners. and Budge's come in, and we've got new head of direct operations and commercial, and everything's brand new, and there's a real buzz about the place. You know, we've surpassed last season's 10,000 season tickets. We're up to 11.5, pushing on towards 12,000 now. There'll be over 12,000 here for this home game, so there's a real optimism about the club in general, and the team. You know, Robbie Nielsen and Stevie Crawford under the director of football, Craig, have brought in some experienced players. Neil Alexander, a real star in Ortuk, the centre half, Alim Ortuk, fantastic player. You've got Danny Wilson, the captain there, Gomez and Bobbin are in, and of course we've just signed big Osman Sow. So we're looking pretty good on the pitch. We want to compete. Nobody's going to shout for the rafters that we're going to go straight back up, but certainly we want to be competing and get back to the Premier League as soon as possible. Well,
we're in the old stand. I'm sure plenty of new, fresh memories to come this season here at Tynecastle. John, thanks very much.
Well, welcome back to Tynecastle, where it's Manchester City who lead by a goal to 0. A goal scored by Scott Sinclair. Great atmosphere inside the ground. Fixture that's to mark the centenary of the main stand here at Tynecastle. And it's the English champions who lead, and it was Manuel Pellegrini's side who got us off early and running with a chance for Samir Nasri here. Jesus Navas providing the pace down the right-hand side. The cutback for Nasri, but he just couldn't quite convert. At Tynecastle in a Hearts jersey, and he was right behind the shot. The Hearts came back into things. John Robertson beside me here. This was an impressive move that came out with a shot by Dale Carrick.
Yeah, it was a real chance. It's similar to the City goal, actually. It was wonderfully worked, and it's a terrific save there from Richard Wright. It was the one real opportunity Hearts had in the first half, and the big ex-England goalkeeper said you saw that wonderful switch from Patterson. Great direct running from Jamie Walker here, and Carrick makes a lovely little run just off the shoulder. There he goes there, but Richard Wright stands up, and of course what happened was City shortly were to go up and grab the first goal of the half, but they had the big keeper to thank for that.
Well, this was the only goal of that first half. Again, Navas involved. Negredo came short, and look at that.
He just has a little look up to see where Sinclair is. He get the ball here, he turns round, there's his little look, he sees him go, the disguise pass is brilliant. Patterson, cardinal mistake for the defender standing behind the centre half. He's caught on his blind side, and the difference there is a wonderful slipped in finish from Sinclair inside Neil Alexander's near post. There's Carl Patterson's caught square, can't let go, and it's a wonderfully composed finish, and it's given City probably they just about deserved. They've had the bulk of the play, 1 or 2 more half chances in Hearts, and they cut them open there. And as I said, they had the composure of Sinclair just to slide a side footer past Neil Alexander and put Manuel Pellegrini's side in front of the interval.
It'll be an interesting time this season for Scott Sinclair, a player who's stuttered a little since his move to Manchester City after looking so promising at Swansea. Started off at Chelsea and he's been at so many clubs since. He really just needs to get some game time, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he finds himself in the same situation a lot of players. You look at the starting lineup tonight. Richard Wright, similar position. Micah Richards will want to play more. Nastasic will want to play more. Karim Rekic, first half, wonderful. But Scott Sinclair got his goal, and he needs to really kick on now.
Well, it's the opportunity for these players while the World Cup stars are away. We mentioned a few of them who are not on show today. Joe Hart, Martin De Michelis, of course, who was a losing World Cup finalist, Vincent Kompany, Fernandinho, David Silva, James Milner, Yaya Toure, Sergio Aguero and Edin Dzeko. It's an array of stars, and I would suspect that the Manchester City fans who have made the long journey north will get a new look side for this second half. We expect there to be a good few changes, as Manuel Pellegrini did last weekend up in Dundee when the side fell to defeat. But they're one up here against this Hearts side, and Hearts themselves have got a very interesting season. Relegated last year, but this is a new era. This championship is going to be fascinating.
Yeah, it's obviously Rangers, Hearts and Hibs all involved. It's going to be crucial for the club to try and get back up to challenge the title and at least get to the playoffs. But you know, one thing we always talk about here is that this club simply would not have been here if it hadn't been for the fans. So, you know, this is the reward, is to get new players in, new finances come in, and try and rebuild the club from the bottom up, and hopefully get back as quickly as they can into the SPFL Premiership.
Well, you'll notice a good few new faces in the Manchester City side. We think that there have been 10 changes. The only one to re-emerge for the second half was Scott Sinclair. Willy Caballero is in goals, and he has replaced Richard Wright, the man who's arrived from Malaga, played under Manuel Pellegrini in Spain. In addition to that, it looks like the back four will now be Kolarov, Denier, Boyata and Bosserts, with Rodwell and Fernando, the new signing from Porto, operating in midfield. This man here, Welsh youngster Emmer Hughes, Stefan Jovetic and Scott Sinclair operating behind John Guidetti. This is Jason Denier to Boyata, the two Belgian centre-backs. They've not got a bad idol in Vincent Kompany, the club captain, to look up to. Bosserts, the right back, is also Belgian. Strong contingent in the wider squad. Kolarov forward, Jovetic, and now here goes Emmer Hughes. Hughes for Guidetti. Perhaps just came a little early for him. He was just stretching. The studs marked the top of the ball, and he couldn't control it. Bosserts.
Well, there's an early flash if we need any inkling at all. The quality that's come on there. Hughes, the Welshman, just straight down there, cut outside, whipped a great cross in. It was just a fraction too hard for John Guidetti, because if he had got it under control, then given his goal scoring prowess last year, there's only one place that ball was going to end up.
Carrick is in the middle, awaiting the cross. And it'll come in from Billy King, who was well marshalled. Here's Buaban, King, Walker. Caballero had to rush a little. So, and he was fouled by Denier.
I was lucky enough to take in the Manchester City training session last night, and the keeper Caballero was absolutely magnificent. They were doing a lot of crossing and finishing exercises, and he was just an absolute beast in the goals. Tremendous goalkeeper. So I think Joe Hart will have a fair bit of competition this year.
Well, he lost his place to Pantilimon for a section of last season, and Willie Caballero certainly won't want to sit on the bench all year. Rodwell. Again, another like Scott Sinclair, who hasn't quite found his way into the Manchester City starting lineup on a regular basis. Walker. He won it initially, couldn't quite gather the ball. Denier just too strong.
Yeah, Denier took a wee chance there, and it was good initial play from Walker, and he managed to block the pass there, and he didn't get in front of him. I thought he could have maybe done something just about there. But good strong play from the young Belgian centre half.
Here's Kolarov. Wicked left foot. Searching for Gudetti and Jovetic. Jovetic will certainly play a little further forward. Different style of player to Samir Nasri. Formerly of Fiorentina. Very exciting young player who also has experience. Sinclair. Bosserts. And now Fernando, man signed from Porto this summer. Nicely done. It's Jovetic. Gudetti in the middle along with Sinclair. And no route through for Stefan Jovetic.
Yeah, he's another one, Rory. I think you said the quality of the forward-going players that City have are absolutely incredible, and he's another one who, towards the end of last season, just as you said, when Negredo fell out of the team, Jovetic came into the team, and he'll be another one that want to hit this season running.
Hughes' ball in. Oh, and Alexander was nowhere near it. Walker, though, may spark a break through King. Carrick can't win it, though. Denier to Sinclair. Bosserts back to Sinclair. Down he goes. Gomez with the foul.
Well, I've got to say, that's a real chance, and it should have been 2-0. I'm not sure who snuck up at the back there, but it was a free header. The ball came right across. Alexander came and lost it. I know there's a swirling wind out there, but he got absolutely nowhere near it, and there it is at the back post, really. It should have been turned in. A wonderful opportunity.
Jovetic almost netting from that corner. This is Kolarov territory, though. And the Serbian look to smack this one with his left boot. It's Alexander Kolarov, just too high. He's always a threat from that range, though.
Yeah, he certainly was. And again, last night they were practicing a routine where they got free kicks and corners and free kicks in different areas, and Kolarov and Nasri were just whipping them in from everywhere. So no real surprise there to see Alexander Kolarov hit that one, but thankfully for Hearts and Neil Alexander in the goal, it didn't cause them any real problems.
Boyata's head forward. Osman Sow won it very well, and that's what King was looking for. The little flick on. Now he can have a go at Boyata. Boyata very, very strong indeed. It's excellent defending.
Yeah, it was good play there. A lot of flick on, and Billy King's read it, and as you see, he's trying to take on the big lad Boyata there, but he's such a big, strong central defender there. He just used his strength, just got close to Billy King, held him off, and managed just to knock it away for a throw-in.
And he's another example of the strength and depth at the club. Boyata has had a decent amount of first team experience. Here's Bouaben now, who was just signed yesterday by Hearts. Straight into the side.
Yeah, he's come up, he's been playing pre-season, to be fair. He's had 2 or 3 games, and it was just getting the final paperwork over the line. But he's been a decent addition tonight. I think they'll want a bit more fitness. I've been very impressed with Gomez in the middle of the park. He's got about, he's looked lively, he's closed down, he's happy to get on the ball, and as I say, Ortux looks good, and you know, Osman Sow up front has battled away.
Well, they're a tried and tested partnership, aren't they? They must have been about 3 or 4 years together at Dundee United. Carrick. Now Fernando. Here's Sinclair. Jovetic inside. Rodwell to Bosserts. Boyata to Denayer. Kolarov to Hughes. Hughes turns, looks for Kolarov. Just missed by Walker, and Kolarov could have got in there. Jovetic. Rodwell, former Everton player. Fernando. It's a little loose. Billy King is interested. So it goes back to Willie Caballero. He's closed down well by Osman Sow. Oh, Caballero didn't look too clever there.
Yeah, he's just a little bit slack there, and I don't think he realised that Sow has actually got a bit of pace, and his first touch there is okay. He doesn't really come out from his body, and there's a big Swede there getting there, and he's just a little bit unlucky, because if that spun a half yard the other way, Caballero may have been left red-faced.
Catty looked for the long ball forward. Denayer. Hughes won it back nicely. Looking for that reverse ball to Guidetti. Walker. Now Hughes. Kolarov gives him the overlap. It's nicely worked. Well cut out. Forward from Ozturk. Fernando. Now Bosserts. Sinclair. Carrick. Carrick, good feet. He's got King left, he's got Sow through the middle. Sow's timed his run perfectly. And Osman Sow introduces himself to the Tynecastle faithful with a beautifully finished effort. And hearts are level.
Oh, it's a super goal. I'll be very interested to see the pass through, because I think he was just offside, and the linesman who'd been getting a little bit of sticks let it go. But wonderful play to begin with Dale Carrick to win the ball, and he waited and waited and slipped it through. That's a break, and this is a bit I'll be very, very interested in as the ball's played. It's tight, it's very tight, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's a wonderful composed finish, but Dale Carrick, a big part to play, slips it through. There's the run again, and the big man takes his time, and that's a super finish there. But it was very, very tight, and once more this near-size lineman Graham Leslie had a big call to make, and he left it, and hearts are level.
1-1, and now Robbie Nielsen will look to make some changes. Osman Sow, who is a trialist here at Tynecastle, and I think having seen that, he may have just added a few numbers to his potential wage. Robbie Nielsen has brought on Jason Holt and James Keatings alongside David Smith. So a triple change. It was in fact Osman Sow's final contribution of the game. Not a bad final touch, was it?
I think maybe they're just taking him straight to the boardroom for a signing signature there before he gets out of the building. But no, I would say it was a wonderfully worked goal, a beautiful finish, and as I said, it was tight, and the linesman both times, and we like that. We'd rather that the linesman gives the benefit of the doubt to the striker rather than defender there, and hearts are level. But it's a chance now for Jason Holt, David Smith and James Keaton, who have come on to try and impress the new head coach as well.
Well, an excellent start to the second half for Robbie Neilson. I've been very impressed with the way that his side worked that chance and finished it off. It's up towards Keatings. Now Kolarov. And Denier. Bosserts. And Boyata. Fernando, who comes with plenty Champions League experience. He's a well decorated player, lots of league medals won at Porto. Well, that was as wayward as they come from Fernando, though.
Yeah, it was a poor ball there. It was a great run from Bosserts. He saw Sinclair coming short and he went in behind him there and just didn't quite get it to him.
Another change coming as Prince Bouaben is the man leaving the field. And Scott Robinson comes on. As I mentioned in the first half, there were fears that he could have been out for a long time. What a hefty challenge that he suffered against Dinamo Bucharest earlier on in pre-season, but he has recovered. And good news for Robbie Neilson that he's got one of the more experienced players, although Scott Robinson has still got youth on his side.
Yeah, he got a bad one and it was a whack. They thought it was a broken shin, which would have been catastrophic at this stage of season, or any stage of season for the young man, but he's come back in there and he's got a lot of games on his belt, Scott, and he's one of these players that Robbie Neilson is looking to really push on this season. He feels he's at an age now where he needs to start performing at a top level week in, week out, because when he plays well, he's a very important player.
Rodwell with the long-range effort, firing it into the Manchester City fans behind the goal. It's 19 years since those supporters last made the trip up to Tynecastle to face Hearts. 5-1 that day, John.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. If I'm right, I think it was a testimonial for Craig Levine, and John Cahoon absolutely ran riot. City had the likes of Alan Kernahan in the team at the time, but Hearts were absolutely on fire, and John Cahoon was the star man. Alan Johnson, I think, was another that was on the score sheet that day, and it was a terrific result against Man City. But to be honest, they are not the global phenomenon they are today.
Well, it just shows you how times have changed. Just to give them their credit, Brian Hamilton, David Hagan and Nicky Summerby also got the goals that day. Well, food for
they've had 2 weeks preparation up in Scotland at St Andrews, and they've had a run out against Dundee and a good run out again tonight, and they head off to the States to play in a tournament over there, and they look forward to that. And as we say, I think it's always nice for a team to be in a position that both Arsenal and Man City are in, that they get another high profile pre-season friendly in the shape of the Community Shield.
It's Jovetic to Rodwell. Easy for Alexander. Well, there were reports that Manuel Pellegrini had been offered the chance to take over the Brazilian national job, which was rejected. happy to stay at Manchester City. He's really developing a project here, and great success in his first season in charge. Kolarov to Hughes. Kolarov hadn't read the return from the Welshman. He was on loan at Birmingham City last season. Emyr Hughes picked up their goal of the season for a strike against Middlesbrough. Gomez to tidy up. McCarthy. Now to King. Gomez. Wilson to Ozturk. Wilson and Ozturk look to have formed a comfortable partnership.
Yeah, I think if you look right down the spine of the team, I think that's another pleasing aspect for Robbie Neilson. You've got the experienced Alexander in goals. Ozturk and Wilson have played well together. Bobbin and Gomez, as you've rightly said, have already had a partnership now to play in. I thought Sow and Carrick as well also blended quite well in the first half, and obviously did for the goal. So that's good, because you've got the likes of Wilson and Patterson in particular, who are experienced now coming into this season, and you've got you've got 4 wide men that Robbie can pick from. King, he's got Smith, he's got Nicholson, who unfortunately had to go off early. So there's lots to be happy about, but as you say, there's a lot of nice little partnerships forming, which will be very pleasing to the Hearts head coach.
Here's Kevin McCarthy. Bossartsu is the elite development squad captain on their tour to Croatia. That squad looked after by Patrick Vieira. We'll be giving these young players plenty of tips using his experience. He's been coached by the very best, played at the very highest level that you can, a World Cup winner. There's Patterson. Hughes. Denier, and cheaply given away. Holt. Now Smith. To Patterson. Jason Holt again. Looks for King. Here's Jovetic. Out comes Ozturk. Patterson down the line for Smith if he can catch it. He's herring after it.
Yeah, good play from Hearts again. Patterson and Smith know each other very well, because Smith normally plays a winger. He's playing through the middle tonight. It was a wonderfully weighted pass again from Patterson. He saw the young lad bending his run well. It was a good race. But Dernier, but he managed to get his cross in and force out a corner.
Guidetti. Oh, he took it down well. Ozturk was there. McCarthy. Now King. McCarthy's got a lot of running to do, but he's a very willing runner. He's used his strength too. It's Keatings. Can he get the shot away? Out comes Denier. And then King's effort blocked and out for a corner. And the Hearts fans are on their feet here.
Yeah, it's a good little spell for Hearts at the moment. They're wonderful strength from Kevin McCarthy. They're just brushing Bossart's out the way, he's rolled it in, and Keane gets it onto his right foot, and I tell you what, he catches hold of that. But Dernier does well to block it, and Hearts get another corner, but encouraging signs for the home side.
It's Jason Holt, right-footed. Guidetti away. Jovetic goes down. Gomez back to Holt. It's just a behind the man, and a good ball in, and out came Caballero. Patterson. It was a 50-50 ball. Patterson was stretching, just couldn't quite get there, and he did collide with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think it's one that they both had to go for there. It's one of them. It's a wonderful ball in again there. It's a good play from Hearts, and it's just worked across there. Patterson has to go for it. They both collide there, and I think both hopefully are okay, but it was a wonderful, wonderful ball in there as Caballero gets there, as Patterson does, and it looks like knee to knee. It was very, very... there was nothing in it at all, really. But it was a wonderful ball from Scott Robinson. But Kolarov had a little word in Patterson's ear, and the 6,000 plus in the Wheatfield stand here are giving him a little bit of Edinburgh hospitality, so to speak.
And both players back up on their feet. Caballero, a new signing for Manchester City to certainly provide competition for Joe Hart. And Patterson, you can see just at the bottom of your screen, charging back to his right back position, and a little word for Kolarov as he went past. And you can hear what the Tynecastle faithful think of the Serbian.
Yeah, it was the same in the first half we had with Garcia when he got knocked over and wasn't happy. He gave a little knock to Carrick. There's just been, I like that about Man City, to be fair. I think that's right. You know, they're not here just to put on a show and strut about. It shows you that Kolarov and Garcia, it means something to them that, hey, wait a minute, we're not going to be messed about here. And it's added a little spice to the game, because sometimes, you know, and we've seen it in spells tonight, sometimes the game can go a bit insipid and a bit quiet, but with every now and again we've just had that little bit of niggle, and that's what you need, because that means that you're getting closer to normal match conditions when there's a wee bit of feistiness in it.
Another change for Hearts. Brad Mackay, centre-back, will be coming on for Ali Mozturk, who's been very impressive indeed.
Yep,
young centre-half.
Two different types of players. Brad Mackay had a lot of games last season. He's shuffled between right back and centre-half, but he's a good aggressive centre-half there. Young Jack Hamilton has only played, I think, 7 or 8 minutes against Wolfsburg, and he had a really bad injury towards the end of last season, missed out on the Scottish Youth Cup final that you mentioned earlier on the season, which was unfortunate for him, but people have very, very high hopes for him, and again, this is nice for him to get a few minutes of experience, or a fair bit of experience here tonight to add to his career.
Well, header very well won by Patterson, who gets it back now. Mackay for David Smith, who was just caught offside.
Yeah, he was unlucky. It was just a fraction late from Mackay there. Smith had made his run and just couldn't quite get there. But it was a wonderful little clip ball, just a wee bit too quick from David Smith.
There's going to be a change, and Matthias Bossarts hasn't lasted too long. Gael Clichy is the man to take to the field to play down the right hand side. A versatile player, usually plays at left back. Sinclair, turned by McHattie, then shifted his way, went outside. And Clichy, well, that will be a corner kick. Gael Clichy's first involvement is to really gift Hearts a corner there, but he was under pressure.
Yeah, I don't think he was up to speed with the game there, and young Billy King made sure that what we talked about a minute ago, you're not going to get to coast through this game, because, you know, Hearts are edging, you know, it's only 8 days away from their first competitive match against Annan Athletic.
Robinson, Caballero spotted the danger. And now he's spotted Jovetic in space. Away from McCarthy. He's got Gudetti up alongside. There's Gomez. He's a fabulous reader of the game. Mackay against Gudetti, and in goes Patterson, but Mackay was holding the Swede.
Well, it seems a cheap foul there that Steve McLean has given it. It was a wonderful ball again from Caballero, but you see the two of them wrestling there. I don't see too much in that. It's a soft one, but referee Steve McLean is determined. There's a free kick, and there's a real opportunity. That's a perfect position for someone to go and hit this one there. It really is a wonderful area. It's just far enough out, and young Jack Hamilton, no doubt, will be a little bit nervous in that goal, but he'll have to get his wall right for this one, because it's 22, maybe 23 yards maximum. I'd fancy Kolarov to take this, and you may well get a shush signal towards the crowd if he does as well.
It is in fact Jovetic who looked to go through the ball. And McCarthy brought down by Fernando. Hamilton clears. Keatings, it's no real match against Jason Denayer. The boos will tell you that it's Kolarov. Now Gudetti. Ball kicked in by Sinclair. Jovetic. Gudetti. Back it comes to John Gudetti. And Jack Hamilton was at full stretch. That must have been close.
I think that hit the post. I really do. I think there was a second noise there, but it just shows you he's a striker that doesn't need half a chance. He just pulls. There's very little pull back here in his foot. He just lashes through it. He gets a ricochet there, but look, had the pull up, bang, and I think that may well have clipped the outside of Jack Hamilton's right-hand post.
John Gudetti was a player signed as a 16-year-old by Sven-Goran Eriksson, and has since spent a number of loan spells, particularly impressively at Feyenoord.
Yeah, you feel for him, because you look at his goal scoring record, it's absolutely stunning. It really is, and you look at the players that he's got to get past Negredo. He's then going to get past Aguero, Dzeko, all these lads in front of him, which is just absolutely incredible. But he's stuck in there, and as I say, he'll be determined to get himself on the score sheet to show that he too is worthy of a chance at City itself.
Oh, a couple more changes for Hearts. As off go Gomez and Danny Wilson, the captain.
Again, two of the youngest of the Hearts squad on now. Young Gary Oliver, striker, who has already scored in a pre-season friendly game last season against Raith Rovers. And Jordan McGee, who's a really highly rated centre half, who has also scored for the first team in a match against Aberdeen last season. So despite their youth, they both have a goal of sorts to their credit, and they're very, very high rated. In fact, Gary Oliver scored Saturday against East Fife in a pre-season game as well.
Here's Sinclair, Gudetti, Sinclair, Jovetic, and Mackay was there. He's taken over the captain's armband. And McCarthy. So you look at that back four now. McCarthy, McGee, Mackay and Patterson all come through the Hearts youth system, all under the age of 20.
I would say so, because this is more in line with what we had last season, Rory, in that, you know, you look at the whole squad out there now. I would think Scott Robinson at 22, 23, I think he must be the oldest player out there, and I think every single player apart from Keatings has probably come through the academy. It's wonderful to see, and it's the way forward for the club, and it's something they want to promote.
There goes Keatings. Well, of those, Mackay, Patterson and McHattie are fully fledged Scotland under-21 internationals. McGee, I'm sure, will follow soon.
I think McGee played in the last game against Holland, so he's in there as well. So you've got an entirely under-21 Scotland squad back there. So Robinson is the general, the old man in the team at 23, 24 there. You've got Robinson's, Holtz, I think it's 20 now. Young Gary Oliver's only 18, so that's good. But as I say, this will be really interesting to see how they get on against this experienced side. It'll do them absolutely no harm. And say every single player on the park has played for the first team before at some stage last season.
You can see the real fire in these players, loving the opportunity to play against these big names in world football. It's Holt's corner. Nodded back. Gudetti can clear. There were times last season when Gary Locke, who was in charge of the first team, could barely fill his bench, sometimes just having to opt for 4 or 5 substitutes. So stretched was the squad. Hearts were unable to sign any players due to their administration. This is Clichy, Gudetti, and down goes Emyr Hughes. It's a penalty kick. Callum Patterson's challenge, he was just stretching for the ball. Hughes came in on his blind side.
That was a poor touch from Patterson, and that's what caused it there. He knew it, he'd acknowledged it right away. As soon as the ball came in there, Gudetti missed a header, Patterson's touch was poor, and then Hughes came in, just touched it away. Patterson didn't even see him, clipped him. And there's an opportunity now for Kolarov. He put this on the top, keeper's top left-hand corner, his right. In practice yesterday, it was bulleted into the roof of the net with their practicing penalties.
It is Alexander Kolarov, clinically done by the Serbian left-back. And he restores Manchester City's lead.
Yeah, you'll see the touch here from Patterson. It's a poor touch. It just allows Hughes to get in there. It's a penalty kick all day long. There's absolutely nothing that the referee, Steve McLean, couldn't give bar a penalty, and it's brilliantly drilled in by Kolarov. I tell you what, I don't care who the goalkeeper is, he's not saving that.
Manchester City back in front. 10 minutes to go. That releases the substitute Oliver. Was he hauled down?
Well, I think Hearts have got a claim there as well. It was I don't think it was in the box. I think it was just outside. But
here's Sinclair at the other end, and it's over the top of Hughes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see that one again. But I think Oliver got the wrong side of Dernier there, and he'd certainly had a wee shove at him. We saw earlier on in the match that the referee gave a foul for a push by Osman Sow. That certainly, to me, looked like a little push. I'd have to say it was just outside the box as well. But there you go, you'll just see a lead on him there. There you go for that. Me, it's a free kick just outside the box, and Steve McLean has unfortunately missed that one.
Game a now Kolarov, his penalty sees Manchester City in front. I'm back, and here goes David Smith. Oliver looks for it over the top, Clichy, and Caballero comes out, heavy touch from the goalkeeper. Here's McHattie, cries of shoot from the optimistic home fans. The Hearts will have a free kick. There's the atmosphere of a competitive game here.
Well, that's what's happened with Kolarov having a wee go at Patterson and Garcia later on, and you know, every crowd, you know, likes a little pantomime villain, and Kolarov's it tonight, and he's put his team in front. But Caballero done well there, because I tell you what, I thought for one moment it was going to be the famous Gael Clichy heading it past him and leaving it for an empty net.
Taken on from distance by Brad Mackay.
Yeah, a bit optimistic there, but if you You know, he's obviously got the confidence to hit it there, Brad, but that was an easy save from Caballero. But well, the Spanish goalkeeper did well there earlier on, because it could have been catastrophic position there with Gael Clichy. Had the full-back decided just to touch it at the header, he'd have left his goalkeeper completely marooned.
Neat play from Scott Robinson. Hamilton forward. Kolarov. Hamilton. And short comes Jason Holt. And Brad Mackay. Short is Smith. Holt just brought down there by Hughes. Patterson looks over the top. Denayer. Fernando. Brought down by Keatings, but play on, says Stephen McLean. Robinson. McGee. Been a good exercise for Manuel Pellegrini. Certainly wouldn't have wanted to have come away from this mini tour to Scotland with 2 defeats, and as things stand, despite the defeat to Dundee, they've turned it around, and a victory over Hearts here looks likely. Oliver to chase. Boyata. Well, he's a big, strong boy. And kept cool under pressure too. Holt. Robinson back to Holt. Mackay. Smith. They seem happy to keep possession, but they're struggling to get further up the field.
It's certainly the style that Robbie Nielsen and Stevie Crawford have emphasised, that they want the players to be, you know, comfortable on the ball and keep passing. They don't want just to hammer up front and lose patience. They want to try and play the patient football and try and work their way through. You know, obviously against a team of Man City's quality, it's going to be difficult to pass through them and pick the locks, but they're hoping long term in the Championship that this style of play will bear fruit, and fair play, they're sticking to it. They haven't panicked. You can hear 1 or 2 of the crowd want them to launch it forward with 4 minutes to go to try and get something, but he's maintaining discipline of the players to keep passing the ball.
Here's King to Holt. How about your own role with the under-17s, John? Are there players there that could be knocking on the first team door?
Yep, absolutely. There's a couple of young lads already made it into the first team tour. Liam Henderson is a local lad as well, who's really highly thought of. So, you know, he's just one of many, and our training starts next week and games will start to come. So we're looking forward to that aspect of it, and hopefully in years to come see some of these lads progress to here, because it's, as we've said before, it's a club that wants to promote young players and always has promoted young players.
Robinson. He gives it away to Emir Hughes, and now here's Stefan Jovetic. Jovetic right-footed, well hit. Jack Hamilton got down to make the save. Jovetic almost making it 3-1.
Yeah, good feet from Jovetic there. He got it out quickly, smacked it down there, and young Jack Hamilton just did enough there. He opens it up for himself there, just looks, bang, and it just bounced in front of the young keeper, but he manages to get his right hand onto it, and Jordan McGee's alert to make sure that nothing else comes of it.
Jovetic to Sinclair, back to Jovetic. Well, he fancies it in these last few minutes, doesn't he? Inches away there.
They're starting to turn it on there. The younger Hearts boys are struggling to keep the third man running in the slick passing, and it's another wonderful effort there, just trying to curl it, but just too far. But again, he's shown his eyes to score goals. It's as simple as that.
McCarthy given away to Clichy. Guidetti, still John Guidetti, well blocked though by Brad Mackay, watched him all the way.
Yeah, I like Guidetti. I mean, he's a striker that every time he gets the ball, he wants to know how the quickest route he can get to go and get a shot away. He's desperate to score. You can see that, and you can understand why he scored so many goals last season in the Dutch league, and why, you know, that, as we've said already, there's, you know, a line of admirers waiting to snap him up should City decide that he's not going to feature in their campaign.
Clichy to Hughes. McGee half away, only as far as Jovetic. Might he have another pop? Now looking for a player, and it's cut back and knocked well over the bar by Jack Rodwell. He thought for a moment that he could have had a penalty, but acknowledged the referee's decision in the end.
Yeah, I think he's got a case as well, to be fair, because it was a wonderful cutback to begin with from Jovetic, and he gets the ball first, hits it, then he's clipped again, I think, by Patterson once more, who's certainly been in the thick of the action in both ends. But there we go.
Well, there goes the full-time whistle, the handshake between Manuel Pellegrini and Robbie Neilson. A good exercise in pre-season for both sides. Manchester City, under Manuel Pellegrini, look to get their charge on for another Premier League title down in England, while Hearts will look to get back to the Premiership in Scotland by progressing through the Championship. The first half saw a goal from Scott Sinclair, well played in by Alvaro Negredo, but the second half brought a response from Hearts, and Osman Sow, a man on trial, scored just before being taken off, perhaps to go and sign a contract with the club. But the match was decided by a penalty kick. Emir Hughes brought down by Callum Patterson, and that was tucked home by Alexander Kolarov. So the final score at Tynecastle is Hearts 1, Manchester City 2. John, what did you make of it?
I thought it was an entertaining game in the respect that both teams knocked it about. We got a wonderful crafted first goal, and an almost identical one from Hearts to get the equaliser. And as we said later on, you know, it was a penalty kick, but both teams went about in the right manner. We had that little bit of niggle, which is great. I think that's the difference in pre-season sometimes, that it can be flat, it can be insipid, and just you keep it, we keep it. But we had a couple instances with Garcia and Kolarov that got the crowd fired up. So in the end, I think everybody leaving Tynecastle tonight have been royally entertained by a youngish Hearts side with the new signings showing up particularly well. But Man City have just showed that even before the big guns come back, they're going to be competing at the very, very top of not only English football, but European football as well.
Well, thank you very much for your time, John. And it's a 2-1 win here for Manchester City. Let's get some full-time reaction down trackside with Mark Woods.
Robbie, a narrow defeat to the Premier League champions. I guess you can take a fair amount of confidence in that.
Yeah, I thought we played well. No, some good passes I played. Kept possession well, attacked well, defended well. So that was really pleasing. Obviously they've got exceptional quality. You know, periods of the game where it's unbelievable. There was some movement and a good passing, but no, I was pleased. It's a great learning curve for some of our players.
You seemed to have a very good view of the penalty. I watched you in the sideline. You weren't getting too dramatic about that. Seemed crazy.
Yeah, I think it was just, I think Callum didn't see him. It was his blind side. He's taking a touch and it was clever. their hands up. It was a penalty.
Osman, so a well-taken goal for you. Still on trial, odds on in signing?
Yeah, hopefully. You know, he's a great player, and I thought he played well again tonight. So yeah, we'll hopefully try and move that one forward.
You've just got one pre-season game before the real action starts next weekend against Annan. How's it all looking right now from your opinion?
I'm pleased with what we've got. Yeah, we're working hard. We'll continue to work this week as well. And the Annan game's a big game for us, and it's our first competitive game of the season, so we're getting geared up for that now.
And finally, championship.
We just need to continue that for next week's game as well.
A few more games that you'll have to learn from that. I mean, the championship this year, we know it's going to be a tough battle. Hibs in there, Rangers in there. For you, as your first season as a manager, how are you approaching this?
Yeah, I'm approaching it with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of hard work. You know, and the boys are the same. You know, I've got a group of players that want to do well, want to work hard, want to do the right things, and that's what we're trying to do with them.
Any chance of any other additions now before the season begins?
We're always on the lookout for players. You know, if it's the right player and it's within budget, then we'll try and make a move for it.
Last thing we're going to ask you is, of course, it's 100 years. We're celebrating it tonight since the stand opened behind you. You've been here as a player a long time. Are you pleased with the way that the support has come together and rallied behind Hearts, particularly with new ownership coming in and a fresh start this year?
Yeah, it's been absolutely magnificent. You know, over the summer it's been great. The support we've had and the excitement about the place. You know, tonight we sold 13,000 tickets, which is fantastic for a pre-season friendly. Season ticket sales are going great as well. So, no, there's a real atmosphere about the place, and it's positive. You know, we need to try and continue that on the park as well.
Well, best of luck for the season ahead, Robbie. It's been enjoyable watching you tonight. Well, there you go. Manchester City coming up to Edinburgh tonight. A 2-1 victory for the English Premier League champions. But for Hearts, plenty of positives as the Jambo fans file out of Tynecastle tonight. Thanks for watching. See you soon.